This is the weekend edition of iFIBER One News, where we present some of the top stories from this week and your weekend weather forecast. I'm Bethany Jenks. Stay tuned for the weekend edition of iFIBER One News.
From the iFIBER One HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER One News, your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER One News, and it starts now.
One of our top stories this week was about a parade in Ephrata honoring the 1161st Transportation Company, which was deactivated this week amid changes for the U.S. Army. Reporter Cameron Probert has the story.
The members of the 1161st Transportation Company said goodbye to Ephrata Saturday morning. Roughly 100 members of the National Guard unit, along with others, marched and rode through the center of the city. They were marking the end of more than 50 years of history in the community. The unit is disbanding as part of a restructuring of the U.S. Army. Soldiers are being transferred to other units, and equipment is either being moved or put into surplus. The Ephrata American Legion Post's Auxiliary organized a parade Saturday so the community could show its support. Jane Montani, with the Auxiliary, said the unit has been a part of the community since the 1950s.
And I know they've been a contributing part of this community, and they've been a protector of this community and all of our communities for a number of years.
Most recently, community members waited to hear about the soldiers during 2 recent deployments of the 1161st to war zones. The company was deployed in 2003 and 2009 to Iraq.
We're family. The community believes in it. My daughter and her husband were with the group when they went over in 2003, and so she came back a little early, but she's doing good.
The company was joined by former members who rode in a truck as soldiers walked beside them. Montani introduced Deb Adams, who was another of the community members involved in helping the 1161st. The American Legion Auxiliary helped organize a Christmas party for the soldiers' families during the first deployment. They received donations from various people, including the PUD, to help the families.
It's just been a continual thing every single year, and it's not just that we're giving, we're receiving, wouldn't you say?
It's important.
And
important
so
business.
For the people that we're with. So.
Community members lined the streets Saturday to see the soldiers to their next assignment. Several people held signs thanking the soldiers for their service. The Ephrata Armory is not expected to stay empty for long. The 1161st is expected to be replaced with a new company. The 181st Battalion Support Brigade is expected to move from Seattle to Ephrata. For iFIBER One News, this is Cameron Probert reporting.
In Moses Lake, police and firefighters served breakfast to a few hundred elementary school students for National Breakfast Week. Reporter Joe Utter has the details.
Elementary school students in Moses Lake were greeted by some guest servers for National Breakfast Week. Moses Lake police officers and firefighters are stopping at every elementary school this week for breakfast. That's 10 schools in just 4 days. Emergency personnel went behind the counters to serve breakfast to students before class and took the time to sit with students and hand out stickers. Moses Lake Police Chief Dave Ruffin, who has pushed for more community involvement from his department during his few years as chief, said he gives credit to his officers for making a positive impact with the students.
Well, first of all, I got to give the credit where it belongs, and so I've got a great department. And so this is the brainchild of someone else. Actually, Adam Monroe, who's one of the school resource officers, has set this up. And not just here at Peninsula, but all the schools. We've tried to hit them all, each school this week. And so, yeah, it's a big piece. I mean, we need to be involved in the community. We need to work with the community. And so this is just one of those programs, another program that we think's been successful and helps our department in the long run. And so, my hat's off to the organization for actually coming up with these things and getting involved with the partners that we have in the community. So, and every time that we can get out and be involved in the community, the better off we are. And the more trust we can build in the community, the better it's going to be for the department in the long run.
Moses Lake police and firefighters were joined by the Washington State Patrol, Grant County Sheriff's Office, and Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. Fish and Wildlife Enforcement Captain Chris Anderson said it's good for both the students and officers to interact in a stress-free environment.
It's a friendly environment where
where we can talk to each other one-on-one or in a group instead of maybe a family situation or a law enforcement situation where there's a lot of stress involved. And so it's a different environment. It's good for the kids. It's good for us.
This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
And now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
We'll be right back after this.
Here comes Obamacare, the biggest change in the tax code in 20 years. I'm ABC's Richard Davies with today's tax tip. This year's tax season marks the first time you'll be asked for information regarding your health insurance. Eric Smith of the IRS says for most people, this will be a non-issue.
For more than 3 out of 4 taxpayers, the change will involve just simply checking a box on your return.
That box indicates that you had health coverage and most likely through your employer. Others who bought government-backed health care and received a tax credit to help them pay for it will have to account for whether they calculated correctly. Kathy Pickering of H&R Block says there'll either be a payment or a refund.
When they come in to file their taxes, now they're reconciling how they estimated their income to what their actual income is.
The IRS says if you're low income and not required to file a tax return, you don't have to buy health coverage. But for those who could afford it and chose not to, they'll get a fine. With today's tax tip, Richard Davies, ABC News.
Now for your iFIBER 1 News Weather Center forecast.
This weather segment brought to you by Barry Motors, one great place to buy and service a car. I'm meteorologist Mike Sines with your weather forecast. Starting off with headlines, we're going to see rain continue throughout the overnight hours. Flooding roads possible due to the amount of rainfall we're expected to receive. And also, we will see, though, clearing by next week. Taking a look at our almanac for us here in Ephrata, we reached a low this morning of 30 due to that cold front pushing in. Rain totals haven't come in just quite yet, and you can see the sun has set for us at 5:59. Can't see it, though, because of the clouds. Right now, we are mostly cloudy skies. Winds blowing from the south-southeast at 6. Temperatures have rebounded 50, so that's a 20 degrees bump in the temperature from the low we saw this morning. Now, as we take a look at our futurecast model here, we do still have those showers and storms that are going to continue. And because of the colder air, our model in-house is even picking up on the possibility of snow. I'll time it all out for you right now. So rain tonight, rain going to continue on into tonight. As we head into tomorrow morning, early hours, we can see rain still possible into Saturday 9 a.m. Look at Yakima right here, just west of Yakima. That's snowfall. I'm even forecasting a slight possibility for snow into the Yakima region and, of course, areas north, the mountainous regions where that area is just too cold and they're going to see snow. Also, though, mixed precipitation is possible for us here in Ephrata as we make our way into Saturday. That is going to be the potential to cause some of that. Taking a look at my forecast for Saturday, though, get your umbrella ready, folks. It's going to be a wet one. 48 in Long Beach with showers and storms. Tri-Cities, 53 degrees. Olympia, 48 as well. 49 out towards Seattle with rain showers. Yakima, 56, and that threat to see possible snow and snow flurries. Bridgeport, 55, mostly cloudy skies, and 50s for us here in Ephrata as well as Moses Lake. Look at this, though. Partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy skies and rain. What's going to happen? We're going to have one of those mixture days where we're going to have parts we'll see sun, other parts we'll see rain. Everyone will get a drop of rain at some point, but our model here in-house is calling for partly cloudy skies. We're still going to have rain, so get your umbrella ready, folks. Here's a look at my extended forecast, and I'm pointing out exactly the rain and also a change in your clocks, folks, as we make our way into Sunday. Don't forget to spring forward 1 hour so that we lose an hour. At 2 o'clock, you'll actually change your clocks to now 3, so we lose an hour of sleep. Take a nap. Maybe that'll catch up on your sleep. As we see here, though, we are going to see rain chances persist into Sunday. Have your umbrella ready, folks, because it's going to be a wet weekend. Sports is next.
Whether you're looking for a bigger car to support your growing family, a new truck for your business, or something to pull that toy of yours, we've got you covered at Barry Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Ephrata. Come see us today and learn why your family, friends, and neighbors buy their cars at Barry. On Basin Street for more than 35 years, and with locations in Moses Lake and Wenatchee, we are one great place to buy a car. Call or click 754-2411 or barrysaves.com.
To save some energy, I've used Einstein's mass energy equivalents to design the haptic suits you see in front of you. They will maintain our core body temperature while we completely turn off our heat and air conditioning. With the money we save on our Grant PD bill, I'll be expecting that trip to Disneyland this year.
You don't need to be a super genius to save energy and money. Visit grantpud.org to learn how.
The Bellevue Bulldogs put Big Bend to the test in first-round NWAC regional basketball action. But when the final whistle had blown, it was the Running Vikes advancing to the Elite Eight.
The Running Vikes picked up an 84-76 win over Bellevue in first-round NWAC regional basketball action at Big Bend Community College on Saturday. But it wasn't as easy as the matchup indicated. The number 4 seeded Bulldogs, out of the North Conference, gave the top dog out of the East all it could handle in a back-and-forth affair that saw 7 lead changes, 5 ties, and Big Bend holding a 36-31 edge at the break. Bellevue was without the services of its best all-round player, Brian Zare, but was able to keep pace with the Running Vikes with 45 second-half points. The Bulldogs lost the battle, however, in the waning minutes at the free-throw line. Riker Pierce led Big Bend with 25 points. Mogul Ado turned in a 16-point, 7-rebound effort. J.J. Eli hit for 15 points. Wyatt Johnson came off the bench for 12. The Running Vikes, along with East Conference mates Spokane, Columbia Basin, and Yakima, all advanced to the round of the Elite Eight. Big Bend will match up with Highline College Friday afternoon at Everett Community College. Big Bend will match up with Highline Friday afternoon at 4 at Everett Community College. The winner moves on to the Final Four of the NWAC Men's Basketball Championship Tournament.
Moses Lake had its sights set on bringing home the 4A Hardwood Classic State Championship trophy. The team came up just shy of its goal, however, but the Chiefs placed higher than they had the past 2 trips to the big dance.
Moses Lake took 2 of 3 games at the Hardwood Classic to place 4th at the annual state tournament. The Chiefs dropped a tough 49-37 first-round matchup to eventual state champ Central Valley. The first loss of the season sent Moses Lake to the consolation bracket for a loser-out game with Skyview. The Chiefs bounced back with a 50-41 win to stay alive in postseason play. Jesse Lowetta led the Moses Lake attack with 19 points. Jamie Lowetta added 15. Abby Rathman recorded a double-double, 10 points and 11 rebounds. The win put Moses Lake in a matchup with Lewis and Clark for 4th and 6th place. The Tigers held a 19-13 lead at the end of the first quarter. Taylor Stevens came off the bench ice cold in the second and nailed a 3-ball to spark a 24-8 run, and the Chiefs took a 37-29 score into the locker room at the half. Moses Lake held a 53-44 edge going into the final 8 minutes of the contest, but the Tigers clawed their way back in it to get within 3, 61-58 with 17 seconds to go. Jesse hit 1 of 2 free throws with 13 ticks left on the clock, and Moses Lake held on for the W. The Chiefs finished the regular season with their best record in school history, with 25 wins and 1 loss.
The Elmira Cooley Heartline boys finished runner-up to Nia Bay at the 1B Hardwood Classic. The Lady Warriors beat Tahola to place 4th.
Elmira Cooley Heartline boys dropped a lopsided 73-48 contest to Nia Bay to finish runner-up at the 1B Hardwood Classic State Championships. The Red Devils were the big underdog going up against an undefeated Warrior team, but the squad from the tiny community on the Macaw Reservation in Clallam County wasn't rattled, took control of the contest early, and never looked back. The Warriors opened tournament play with a 50-44 win over Seattle Lutheran, and then got past a stubborn Yakima Nation team 46-41 to advance to the championship game. ACH had one more hurdle to cross to close out the season with an unblemished record and claim its first state title since 2012, but Nia Bay knocked off the #1 ranked and previously unbeaten Warriors to take home the Red Devils' initial 1B championship trophy. The Lady Warriors rolled past Tahola 69-38 to place 4th at state. Brenna Oliver paced ACH with a 17.6 rebound effort. Gabby Isaac and Berlin Hunt hit for 13 points each. Tiffany Botane added 9. Emma Dingman finished with 7. ACH was in control from the tip and took a 44-19 lead into the locker room at the break. The Warriors posted 24 second-half points on the board to run away with it. ACH went 2-1 in tournament play at the Spokane Arena. The Warriors dropped an opening round 68-46 contest to eventual 8-time champion Colton, and then staved off elimination with a lopsided 64-43 win over Tulalip Heritage.
Well, good luck to Coach Mark Poth and the running Vikes, who match up with Highline in round 1 of the NLMWAC Men's Basketball Championships tonight at Everett Community College. A win will put Big Bend in a semifinal contest against Spokane or Chemeketa Saturday. The championship game will tip off at 8 p.m. on Sunday. Well, spring sports are kicking off around the basin this weekend, with several schools participating in jamborees. So if the opportunity presents itself, get out and root on your favorite team. Players and coaches will appreciate your support. Have a great weekend. We'll be back after this short break.
Well, one thing I knew from being a patient myself was that a dental office is a scary place to come to. And so we wanted everything possible to make sure that our office is a comfortable place for our patients to visit. The patients that I have, my clients, have made me a part of this community, and we want to give back in every way possible.
You don't have to drive to Seattle for exceptional cancer care. Confluence Health's cancer program delivers world-class care close to home. We have a highly experienced oncology team in a state-of-the-art facility, and we're a member of the Seattle Cancer Care Alliance, which gives our patients access to world-renowned therapies developed at Fred Hutchinson, the University of Washington Medicine, and Seattle Children's. Together with the SCCA, we're delivering world-class cancer care close to home.
Our next story is about how Moses Lake Middle School students are helping students in Haiti with an upcoming fundraiser. Reporter Devin Higgins has the story.
At Moses Lake's Endeavor Middle School, there's a group of students hard at work on trying to make a difference for other children who are trying to get by half a world away. Endeavor's leadership class is putting together a spaghetti dinner fundraiser on March 24th to raise money for students in the city of Jérémie on the island of Haiti. About 31,000 people live in the coastal city, and the children who are able to attend school do so with the bare minimum of resources, including food. Leadership teacher Kathleen McFarland has been to Jérémie 3 times and talked about what life is like for the kids who try to get by on so little.
Our church goes to Haiti and is closely associated with Haiti Bible Mission, which has been a major force in the school. And there's 80 to 100 kids in this school, and so this will be my 4th trip. And so for me, of course, it was eye-opening my first trip there, just to see the conditions as a teacher. So you have a school that has, you know, just a cement floor, cinder block walls. They have a chalkboard and sometimes chalk and paper and pencils. And it's very basic. They don't have electricity, no running water. There's a hole in the ground outside for when the kids have to go to the bathroom. What we're trying to do is raise money for the lunch program. So they get rice and beans every day. And for some students, that's the only meal they get, and they're happy to have it. And the love that the teachers have for the kids and the joy that the kids have was just overwhelming to me. And so going back, this is my 4th trip, like I said, it feels like I'm going home.
McFarland students will likely never know the level of hardship that their peers in Haiti live with every day, but they said learning about them has encouraged them to do what they can to help make their lives better.
I really like this project because it gives us a chance to be leaders like we're supposed to. It gives us a chance to make a difference in the world and help others.
Haiti is a very poor country, and we want to help these people, but we realize that we can't help them as much as we want to on our own. So that's why we want to bring the community into this, so that, hopefully it's a bigger success and that we can actually buy more things for these kids at the Taboo School and help them even more.
McFarland said along with learning about a different community and culture, her students are also getting a new appreciation and respect for the luxuries and benefits they sometimes take for granted.
I think it's having a daily gratitude for what you have, and that definitely did it for me in going, and they've caught that vision. I know that they thought, wow, okay, I used to complain about, my backpack ripped, or, I have to get up early in the morning and take a bus to school. And I try to communicate that not all the kids even get to go to school and get an education. So I think it's gratitude, and also just not centering on yourself and thinking about, oh, there's so many things wrong and I have so many obstacles in my way, and took all the time about obstacles are things to overcome, and they're things to address and come out the other side. They're not an excuse.
The leadership class's spaghetti dinner for Haiti is March 24th at Endeavor Middle School. In Moses Lake, Devin Higgins for iFIBER 1 News.
We'll be right back.
Experience speed like never before when you connect to Grant PUD's high-speed network. Visit grantpud.org to learn more.
We are real students, and this really is our college.
My dream will change the outcome of my life.
My college is allowing me to achieve my dream.
My dream is to be a pilot.
My dream is to be a nurse.
Only you can determine your dream. Big Bend will help you get there.
What's your dream?
Welcome back. The next story is about a fundraiser on Saturday for the Moses Lake Public Library Foundation. Funds will be used to purchase new shelves for the library. Reporter Devin Higgins has the details.
Staff and friends of the Moses Lake Public Library are hoping to get some public support for their plans for modernizing the 52-year-old building. The library's foundation is putting on a fundraiser on Saturday to help purchase new mobile shelves for the children's section. Bagels for Books takes place on Saturday from 9 to 11 a.m. at Frontier Middle School and includes breakfast and performances by the Voices of a New Day choir, and local authors will also be in attendance. Purchasing the new shelves would allow staff to configure portions of the library into more open meeting or community use spaces inside the 9,000 square foot building. Moses Lake Public Library Foundation President Tim Furman talked about the needs to update the library and make it a better resource for the community.
Right, designed in 1965, and so it was, designed for 1965 when we didn't have computers and we didn't have all the stuff that we have now. So, yeah, trying to retro the building in. I mean, it's a great building. Everybody loves it. Everybody was worried that we would replace it with a building, and everybody's like, no, this is our library, and they all like the location. It's a nice facility. It just needs updated to modern uses so they can plug in power and network and have wireless all throughout the building. But, books are still a huge part of what they do. And the bookshelves are just worn out, and the hope is as we replace the shelves, that gives us the additional ability to move things around and have space that we didn't have before because the books were in the way.
When the library was opened, Moses Lake's population was about 5 times smaller than it is now, yet the building has stayed roughly the same. Furman hopes residents see the value in investing in the library over the next few years.
Yeah, flexibility really wasn't the focus back then, and these days everything is about flexibility. If you look at most modern libraries, you have way fewer permanent walls anywhere. You have temporary walls that you can adjust the size of rooms and the size of meeting spaces. But the idea of, this this shelving is here permanently, we're never going to move it, just isn't part of how they operate these days. And these shelves are okay, but they weren't designed to ever be moved. They were designed to be used in one space. You move them up and down a little bit, but that's all they were ever supposed to do. And frankly, they weren't library shelving in the first place. They don't meet modern requirements for seismic requirements and things like that we have now. People still use it, and in fact, the usage over the years has gone up instead of down. It's just, especially as the economy goes bad, people come to the library looking for, how do we get a hold of a job? They come in and use the computers to do resumes and cover letters and all that kind of stuff, but they're also doing research. The school libraries more and more requiring homework and stuff, and the only way to do that is outside the school library, and this is the library they use. Yeah, one of the things we looked at is, the existing space is about 9,000 square feet, which, back then is a good-sized library, but yeah, we're talking about, adding another 20,000 square feet, kind of heading out into the park area, which is, it's kind of an underutilized park, but it's a great space, and it keeps the library where it was before, keeps it, and the idea is to maintain the look of the building. It's a pretty unique building. You don't have a lot of hyperbolic paraboloid roofs around. So, this is the people's library. They love where it's at. They love what's here. They just want more of it.
Tickets for the Bagels for Books fundraiser are $10 each and can be purchased on the Foundation's website at mlplf.org. In Moses Lake, Devin Higgins for iFIBER 1 News.
Rounding out this week's news coverage is a story about the Moses Lake School Board once again discussing options for new schools to address overcrowding. Reporter Devin Higgins has the details.
The Moses Lake School Board met with district officials for a 4-hour study session on Monday, where the primary topic of conversation was what new facilities the district needs to resolve the issue of overcrowding. Board President Kevin Donovan welcomed all input from his fellow board members while saying the district is to the point where the current student population increases are making constructing new elementary schools necessary every 5 to 7 years. Board member Eric Stones presented a proposal calling for a new 1,600 student junior high school for grades 8 through 9 rather than a new high school, and reorganize the other middle schools to accommodate the expanding student numbers. Superintendent Michelle Price pointed out that not only have the number of students in Moses Lake continued to rise, but the overall population has exceeded projections the district received 10 years ago.
By the most recent data from the county, we're already sitting at just over 50,000. That is our service area. So we're just above the high growth that was projected in the LSW forecast in 2005.
Board members anticipate asking voters for a new school bond in February of next year. In Moses Lake, Devin Higgins for iFIBER 1 News.
That wraps up our weekend edition. iFIBER 1 News will be back on Monday at 5 p.m. with the latest news from around the Columbia Basin. Thank you for watching.